Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to Star Wars Real Talk. So I've been seeing this make your own Star Wars team picture floating around and people commenting on what they think would be the best Star Wars team. I'm not here today to tell you that they are right or wrong, or I in fact know what the best Star Wars team is. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just here to say that that picture is garbage. So I made my own. I actually spent like almost 3 hours making this. Not the list itself, but mostly the graphic design. Anyway, today we're going to take a look at my picture and what I think is a better chart or template for creating your own team. This template follows a point system, so you start off with 100 points and you get to spend them however you want. Different characters in different categories have different values, and therefore they are worth more or less points. So from top to bottom we have the first and best tier, which is the Chosen One tier. So we have Anakin and Vader. I consider them different people because they are very much different people. Once Anakin became Darth Vader often said that Anakin was dead. It was a different person. Luke ended up rescuing him and bringing Anakin back. That's just a Star Wars fact. Luke is in there not because he is the Chosen One, although some people like to argue about that. He's the son of the Chosen One, and he also has a lot of the same potential and strength in the Force, so same category. The next tier down is the God tier. You'd think the God tier would be the best tier, but come on, Chosen One, come on. So it's just Yoda and Palps in this one. And then working our way down, we have the Great tier for Jedi and Sith and the Good tier for Jedi and Sith. Obviously, I had to simplify some things here because Grievous is not a Sith. He would fit more into the warrior category, but just for simplicity, he's so powerful and so high value that he needs to be in this category just for simplicity's sake. So that falls for Ahsoka isn't really a Jedi either, and Kylo isn't really a Sith. Also, the reason that Rey is in the good tier and not the God tier or even Chosen One tier is because a lot of the Star Wars community feels that Rey is overpowered. She's unexplainably strong, and it only really serves her to further the plot of the movies. We don't really see how that came to be or what her real power is. We just see randomly that she's super strong and nobody knows why. So she's in the good tier because she has decent lightsaber skills and decent Force abilities. We know that she has a powerful connection to the Force only because she happens to be Palpatine's granddaughter, but just because there's too much controversy and what ifs around her. So I'm just putting her in the good tier because it's undeniable that Rey she's a pretty good Jedi, right? She's pretty good with the lightsaber. She can handle herself. That's why that's there. The next category down we have is the warriors, then the pilots, support, and then finally droids. So it's obvious to see that the points get cheaper every category down because the characters become less value as to what they can contribute to the team. By the way, I'm saying high and low value, that's my opinion, right? And whatever you deem to be of higher or less value is totally up to you. So this is just my opinion and simplifying things for the sake of this chart. Also, I feel like people are going to get really mad, so I need to explain this. The reason that some Jedi or Sith are higher category than the other, a really easy way to understand this chart is to think who could beat the other person up. Starting from the top and working your way down, if you look at anybody in a one-on-one situation, the person in the category above them should be able to beat the people in the category below them. This isn't a flawless system. Like, for example, Darth Maul did lose to Ahsoka, technically, but I still think that Darth Maul is a lot more powerful than Ahsoka. Whatever your feelings are about Ahsoka, I'm just talking straight up power and fighting ability. So there are exceptions to this. By the way, you hate my chart? Feel free to go make your own chart. And lastly, the text underneath everyone's pictures is that instead of using their names, because I'm sure we're all familiar who these people are, I decided to put where they were in the timeline for this team that you're making. So for example, Obi-Wan is from episode 3, Rex is from Clone Wars season 7, Anakin is from episode 3, R2-D2 is from episode 3, even though he was in like all of the movies. I just had to pick one, so I picked the one where he was the most badass. I'll never forget when he lit those droids on fire. So yeah, episode 3. Just a quick preface of the rules and I guess what the team is for. So your team will work together no matter what. If you pick good guys and bad guys, people who've opposed each other, people who fought each other in the past, they're all going to work together to achieve whatever goal you have for the galaxy. So don't think about how they would play out in the movies. They're on your team, no questions asked. They're going to work together. Also, there are no rules about who you pick and why you pick them. But if you don't pick a pilot, keep in mind that your team is going to be grounded. So as long as you don't have any ambitions for adventuring or conquering or exploring, then you'll be fine without a pilot. Okay, so for my team, I would pick Qui-Gon Jinn as the level-headed leader. I like that he was considered to be a gray Jedi. He saw the flaws in the Jedi Order, but at the same time, he knew the dark side was the wrong path to follow, so he ended up being one of the wisest Jedi that we see in the Star Wars universe. And while Qui-Gon Jinn isn't considered, a high-tier Jedi in this list, and I don't think by any means he was an exceptional warrior, he still carried a lot of the same wisdom that Obi-Wan carried and that Yoda carried, so I'd say that he is a definite bang for your buck. Next up, we have Cal Kestis. He's from Fallen Order. If you haven't played Fallen Order, I recommend it. For this list, just assume that he is whatever maxed out skill tree, whatever form he's in at the end of the game. I like him because he's a young Jedi and he lived through Order 66, so he's got a really deeper understanding of how the world works. Not to mention he's also really tech savvy and he's got a lot of engineering skills, and I think that would be a valuable asset to have on a team, especially when it comes to repairing a ship or droids or any kind of maintenance. Plus, Cal is still considerably young and he has a lot of untapped potential. He still has a lot to learn though, and that's where I think Qui-Gon would be a good person to have around. Next on my list we have Rex. I would want Rex around because of his battle tactics skill and strategic thinking. I think he'd be really useful to have in any kind of fight. Also, I think that he could probably go toe-to-toe with just about anybody, even a low to medium skilled Jedi. And also, not gonna lie, I just want a clone on my team. I think it would be pretty smart to have a droid on your team. Any of these droids could be resourceful and useful because they all share a lot of the same skills, but I would pick K2SO because he was an Imperial droid reprogrammed and he still knows a lot of Imperial protocol, codes, and not to mention that he's huge. He's a hulking metal beast. He doubles as a brutish warrior. He doesn't even need a weapon. He can just go punch people or throw them around. In a pinch, he's the droid that I would want in my ship. He is a definite bang for your buck at 5 points. By the way, keep in mind, I wasn't thinking of who I was going to pick on my team as I was making this list, and I wasn't tailor making the points so that I would have the perfect team. I literally made the list and then I looked at it and then I made my team. So I came at making this whole chart with an unbiased view. I didn't even pick anyone from the Chosen One category or the God tier category. Next up we have Padme, and I think Padme would be good to have on the team because she would be a good civil negotiator, If you need someone who's a smooth talker, easy on the eyes, charismatic to strike a deal or get some political pull or any kind of negotiation, Padme has a lot of experience there, and I think that she would be good in this department. Leia would be good for this exact same reason too. Lando would be good at this too. I just like Padme the best of these options. For my pilot, this is a tough one because all these pilots are really good, and I initially wanted Poe, but I decided on Hera. The reason I like Hera is because she's really great at remaining undetected. She can fly around in difficult places. She's proved herself time and time again in the Rebels show. And she's a really good fighter pilot, so she's the kind of pilot that could help you through any kind of situation if you're in a pinch or if you need to sneak off somewhere or remain off the radar. She's just kind of the package deal. And I didn't end up going with Poe because I think that he's probably one of the best fighter pilots that the Star Wars universe has seen. I don't know how great he would be in other skills or flying something that isn't an X-Wing, right? He's like an X-Wing specialist, but how would he handle a freighter or something else? We don't know. Second last on my list, we have Kallus or Agent Kallus, and I like him because he really knows the inner workings of the Empire, and he had a really great character arc. I just really liked him as a character. He started off super die-hard Empire and just hated the Rebels so much. Life mission, destroy the Rebels. And then he ended up joining them. But he still has a lot of his Imperial connections. He's still got that pen key thing that he could use at all levels of clearance because he was a really high-ranking Imperial, so he'd be a really useful infiltrator. He would be a really resourceful guy to have on the team, and for only 5 points, definitely worth it. Lastly, I decided to go with Kylo Ren. I really had to think about how I wanted to spend my extra points. Didn't know if I wanted to go with someone who brought more of a strategic value to the team or some other resourceful skill, but I ended up going with Kylo mostly because he's got that Skywalker blood in him, and I don't really think we saw his full potential. We didn't really get to see, while he did get some of a character arc in the movies, I think that he still could have been done a lot better, and I think there's still a lot to Kylo Ren that we haven't seen, and he's obviously very powerful, but he's never really had a good teacher either. At the same time, he's pretty much like totally self-taught. Like Snoke taught him to a point, but we just really don't know. And Luke was his master at one point too. But again, all that we've really seen from him is his extremely clunky lightsaber battles with Rey that I don't really think did him justice. We also know that he's really skilled with the Force and possesses a lot of different Force abilities. But again, still don't think that he has fully tapped his potential, and I think that he would be a good person to have on the team if he had the right guidance. Kind of similar to Anakin, but Kylo Ren is a fraction of the points that Anakin is, and I think Qui-Gon would be the right mentor for him. That's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Try the chart out. Make a team. Write in the comments below who your team would be and why. Could they beat my team? Who knows? Is your team just Luke and Yoda? That would be a pretty good team. Is your team Darth Vader, General Grievous, and a pilot? Because that would be terrifying. Hope you guys enjoy it. May the Force be with you.